It's Song Talk Radio.
Welcome to Song Talk Radio, the show with songwriters talking to other songwriters about the craft of songwriting. We share tips, tools, and techniques, and together we all become better at writing songs. Dialing in from our headquarters in Toronto, I'm Neil Modi, and my usual co-host Phil Emery is off jet setting. Everyone else, please send in your comments and questions to @SongTalkRadio on Facebook or Instagram, or feedback@songtalk.ca for the email, and we'll share your thoughts on the show. And please visit songtalk.ca to see the show post for this episode, to find links to the resources we mention, and to download lyric and chord sheets to follow along with the songs that we feature. Tonight, we're very pleased to welcome Canadian country artist Amanda Keeles back to the show. How you doing, Amanda?
I'm good, Neil. Thanks so much for having me.
Great to have you back on the show. It's been literally just about 2 years since you were back on the podcast, and I believe that was your debut record that was released at that time.
Yes,
and,
I think quite a few singles have gone out since we talked last.
Right, amazing. All right, and you're calling us from sunny London, Ontario. Is that right?
Yes. Yep, London.
All right. Excellent. Okay, and just a little bit about Amanda. Multi-award-winning Canadian country artist Amanda Keeles has quickly established herself as a Canadian country artist to watch. Brought to life by her soaring, smooth vocals, Keeles' relatable lyricism and high-powered performances led to a year-long successful debut album and national tour with the release of Can't Stop Me Now in 2024, a project she boldly released after stepping away from her decades-long professional career in finance. Now sitting at 600,000 streams, the album received support from some of Canada's largest media outlets, including CTV National, CP24, SiriusXM, Billboard Canada, and Global News. Keeles' music hit the Canadian airwaves with support from SiriusXM Canada's Top of the Country, iHeartRadio, SiriusXM Canada Talks, and the Canadian Country Indie Top 100, all within her first year as an artist. She is currently gearing up to release her sophomore album in the fall of 2026. Tonight, we're going to be talking to Amanda about her song Leads Me to You. Be sure to download the lyric sheet on the show post at songtalk.ca to follow along. Let's take a listen.
Running to you like the wind on fire. Heart jumps start like a real live wire. Chasing the sunrise and endless sky blue. Driving through a storm of endless rain. Got your kiss running through my brain. Crossing every county line on my way to you. Pounding heart, full speed, don't look back. I'm gonna take back a ravel on the road. I'm gonna light up memories up in smoke. Gonna take a jet fuel to rocket around the moon. I'm gonna ride like a rolling gravy train. I'm gonna take a mile high flying
Fantastic. Wow.
I
That,
was watching you and I was watching your head
yeah,
bobbing up
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
down,
It's
and I
totally
was
bopping.
thinking,
Yeah, it's
that's
a totally.
great.
Yeah, yeah. It's a totally rockin' bopping song. Yeah, this is incredibly efficient songwriting. The first thing I actually want to talk to you about this song is the tempo, because I could almost like looking at the lyric sheet, you can almost see this thing as a ballad. Like it could have been a ballad that was like, 20, 30 BPM slower than this really high octane, high energy bopper of a song,
It's
you know?
interesting you say that. I never really thought about that, but it could. Like with the
Yeah.
way that the lyrics go, you're right that it could.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
funny thing is that this song, usually I write songs from an idea, I go down on piano and I come up with a melody. This beat was in my head, Neil, and I could not get it out of my head.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I, I don't know. I don't know where I got it from. I think I was just listening to other songs one day and it kept sticking in my head. So this actually started with the beat this time around.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So that definitely drilled in the tempo and drilled in the groove of it and everything. Which I'm not saying it should be a ballad. I'm just saying it could very easily have been a ballad,
Yeah.
given the lyric and given the, I think as well the I want to call the melody necessarily frantic, but you are delivering the lyrics at a pretty high rate. Like there's not a lot of legato. There's not a lot of like it's da, 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 da. Like it's
It's
very very
going.
quick, right? It's going, it's
Yeah.
chugging, which totally supports the groove and totally supports the energy of it. I mean, this thing, with pre-choruses, multiple three instances of the chorus and a guitar solo, it clocks in at like 322, right?
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like it's very much. I mean, it reminds me of like old school CCR and Beatles stuff, because those guys, within 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, they pack in, verses, choruses, pre-choruses, post-choruses, solos, instrumental sections. Everything is all just really efficiently tightened in there. And then this has that same kind of feel, because and there is that one bit that's more of a production arrangement thing. Like after the guitar solo, there's the half chorus that's kind of a little bit
Yes.
quieter, half time on the drums, and then kicks right back into the high octane mode, which is very cool.
And you know why I think he did that too, is because I did not put a bridge in this song. I have pre-choruses going into the chorus, but I didn't have something that actually kind of branched off and had a line or two that separated from the rest of the song and then kicked back in again, because I didn't find a need for it, because it was going along so quickly, and I thought it really doesn't need it, because it seems to wrap around and come back to the chorus after the solo quite nicely.
Is that a normal thing for you to typically write a bridge?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes it fits, but this one, the producer even noticed. He says, "You don't have a bridge. You don't have something kind of leading into that final chorus." But we had Russell
The
Broom.
guitar solo essentially, it kind of serves the same function. It's not lyrical, but it serves the same function as in terms of giving you a respite from the story. And
Yeah,
then
it
and then
does.
it comes back into a softer version of the chorus, which I think ostensibly it does. It's not as much of a departure as, say, a lyric that takes you somewhere else. And I
Yes.
think the chords are the same as the chorus chords, so it's kind of the same jam, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's just a guitar melody instead of a vocal melody, and that's it.
And when I went into Johnny Gasparic, who's the producer of this song, you know what I did? I sang the song to the beat. And that's all I had. I said, there's a song here. And I had all the lyrics and I had just the beat. And so we grabbed his guitar and we just did a quick little demo for the musicians. And he basically laid it all out for them. The timing, when they come in, whose part it is. And they knocked it out of the park the first run through. I was like, that's the song. That's it. And it was Russell Broom, who is Jan Arden's guitar player. He's been with her for over 20 years, still tours with her. He's the one who did the guitar licks. in this
Oh, that little
song.
da like that little
Yeah,
guitar. It's
yeah,
so
yeah.
tasty. It's so simple, but
It is
it totally
simple, but
fits.
yeah, I
But
agree.
it's very appropriate. It fits. It keeps the energy moving. It's perfect,
Yeah.
right? Well, that's very cool. That's kind of a neat connection. So when you wrote the lyrics, then did you write the lyrics like to the beat? Like did you? I mean, even if you just had it in your head, even if it wasn't something that you looked up a drum loop on YouTube or something like that, like you didn't.
It was once I got that beat going, and you know what I did is I went into my beats to figure out exactly what beat is that, because I'm not trained. I'm not musically, I can't read music, or so I went in and I found the beat on my piano, right, on my electric piano, and I
Oh, I
just
see. Okay.
I started to create from there. So this was a really strange way of doing it. Most
And
writers
but you
likely
literally
don't.
just sang it a cappella.
I did. I
Without
did.
any, without even touching your piano keys.
Nope, not even touching my piano keys. And all I could think of this driving beat and running and driving down the highway. And that's where all of a sudden it got to, I'm going to take that gravel old dirt road. I'm going to, take a high flying jumbo plane. I started thinking about every kind of transportation that I could take to get to the person, that love that I'm running towards.
Right,
And
right.
that is where it came first. The chorus came first.
Interesting. Interesting that you didn't like. Was it a conscious thing to say I'm not going to touch the piano, or was it that it just kind of happened that way?
I just think that the beat was such a good driving beat that I felt like I didn't need to do the piano to it. Because normally when I write on piano, this one probably would have ended up a ballad if I would have hit the
Aha. See.
keys, right?
Yeah. Well, that was my next thing. Could you do when Elton John kind of rocking thing on the piano,
On the
or yeah,
piano, I probably could, but it was just, I think that just singing along to it allowed me to get all the thoughts in, and all the images I had in my head, of all of the things that I had said about, lighting memories up in smoke. um I'm going to change my name, and like I pieced together all these different ideas. And I have to tell you that when it came to rhyming, and I think that a lot of other songwriters probably do this, is that I took a list of all the words I could find that rhymed with what I was trying to say. And that's how all these lyrics started to fall into place.
yeah. Oh yeah, I've done that. I've always gone with rhymezone.com. That's my favorite website for
Yep.
that sort of thing, because
Yeah.
you can pick like the slant rhymes and the beat rhymes and the close to rhymes that aren't perfect rhymes and things. It's kind of fun that way. But yeah, but definitely it's a great tool, because you can find these other words, and the other rhyme words then spark the ideas for what you
It
can
does.
actually
It
get to
very
fit
much
together, right?
does.
Because obviously you're not going to take all of them. You take the ones that are most relevant to your idea. You still got the focus of the idea
Yeah.
in place. So yeah. But again, because I'm such an instrumentalist rather than a singer myself, I'm always leaning on my piano. But for you to come up with melodies and things that are, because this is a highly structured song, very very structured, right? All the melodies are pretty much the same shape, the same
Yep.
thing. It's very internally consistent in that way, right? And the pre-chorus is a wonderful little one-line thing that just sort of pulls the energy down for just a moment and then kicks it back up again for a chorus. It's beautifully done, right? But I guess my question is, were the melodies? Did they stay in place after you got together with a producer and the music bed got generated, or did the melodies kind of morph a little bit at that
It
point?
stayed exactly the same.
Right. So
It was
they really played to what you had already
they
developed.
played exactly what I had sang to that drum beat.
Right.
And when Johnny got on the guitar, he kept that beat going. He chorded it all out for the guys, and they we discussed it before we go into the studio. We discussed what kind of sound we're looking for. And I said, I want a real, almost like a country, a little bit of rock in there too. And when they went in and they started playing it, they knew the beat right off the bat. They're pros. So they had it already exactly. They knew what they were going to play.
Yeah, that's very
So
true. Because if your melody was that strong, and it is strong, if you come into the door with, even if you didn't have your little keyboard thing with the drum machine built into it or whatever, they'll get it just off the melody, because that's usually enough.
sometimes I think they're not sure what I'm going to come up with, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes I come in with me on my keys. Sometimes I come in with just the drum beat and the vocals. So it's really different how I write. Like it never do my songs ever sound the same, because I like to create different. Sometimes I have a pop sound, sometimes I like a real rock sound. So I think that when you hear especially my last album, not one of the songs even sound close to the other, because I really like to switch it up. And I think it's because when I do write, and if I do find that one of my songs sounds familiar to something I've already written, I'm like, no, it's already been done, right? It
Okay.
just automatically, that's the way I feel. It's like I've already done that. So I always look for something fresh, something new.
Right. Is that largely a lyrical difference, or is that a melody difference, or that you're looking for?
I think it's more probably a melody difference. Um, my lyrics, they're they always seem to come from the first person. I always seem to write as if I'm the one experiencing what I'm writing. I find it much easier to do that. Um,
It is. It is.
it is, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
So,
otherwise,
and then
you're
everybody else
dropping
kind.
names and stuff.
But I find that people can still kind of go, "Oh, that's kind of something that I'm familiar with. I've been through that. I know that feeling. I know that euphoric feeling of rushing towards that love that you feel." And so, whether I write it in first or third person, I think it's still that comes across
Yeah,
the
yeah,
way I
and it's
want
not
it.
even It's not even first person. It's what do they call it? I think it's direct address, because it's I and you, right?
Yeah,
Because you could have
yeah.
a song that says strictly I and there's no you in it. It's really introspective kind of thing. But this is definitely a relationship song, and it's an I and a you. Now, it is an interesting exercise. I've done this a couple of times where you go through your lyric that you've written out, and then, okay, just for the fun of it, let's try taking out all the I's and U's and making it a he and a she, and just see how it plays out, right?
Oh,
And
that'd
more
be
often
interesting.
and more often not, you probably just switch it back to the I and U because it felt right that way, and it was fine, right? But it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
If it's a he and a she, or a he and a he, or whatever.
And one of the things I found too this time is that, I looked for a lot of, you know, like when I said, I'm running to you like the wind on fire, and then heart jump start like a real live wire.
Yeah, it's
I
nice.
really had to think about like when my heart jump started, I was like, what is gonna like link that when your heart jump start, like what? And that's where all of a sudden I started thinking, okay, what do you jump start? Well, you jump start a wire, a live wire, and then it just came together. So I kind of did that with each line
Yeah,
of the verse. Is I tried to find something that was similar to the first part of the line to link it together.
yeah. That's a great approach. That's a really good approach, because you know the emotion that you want to convey, right? But you don't want to just say that plainly. I felt this, I felt that, and this, that, and the other, because you've actually got like a really great amount of imagery in here, like
That's
the
exactly.
rockets and the moon and the gravy train and the jumbo plane and everything, right? And it's just chock full of this great, yeah, like a wild horse running flowing through my veins. Like it's really well crafted, and it's clear that's what you did. You kind of played with these emotions, but then thought what kind of objects, what kind of images could be associated with that. Which is a
I
cool
took
approach.
the train. I'm going to take a train, and I started thinking of every kind of train. What does a train do? And then I started thinking a gravy train. Like,
Yes, yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah,
just, and
yeah,
I don't know why I thought of that, but it fit. It
yeah.
fit, and it was
Sure, sure.
fun. So I thought, well, I'm gonna leave it in there.
Yeah, because it's nice, but I wouldn't go so far. I mean, okay, it's poetic, but it's not poetry. It's not meant to be deep and profound and whatever. It's got a bit of whimsy. It's got a lot of fun to it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's just not trying to be something that's like really profound, which is
I
cool,
tried to
right?
make it more descriptive, and I think it is
Yeah,
more so than any other of the songs that I've ever written, because I put a lot of thought into describing all these different ways I'm going to get to that love.
yeah,
And I yeah, and I think imagery is exactly what it was. I just started to imagine what, high flying jumbo plane, like
yeah.
when you think of a plane, you think of a high flying.
Yeah.
So
And it works even, I mean, maybe this is reading a little too much into it, but things like rolling gravy train, high flying jumbo plane, the wild horse running, like all the images are in line with the chugging of the music and the chugging of the melody, right? They're all images of fast moving objects and fast
yeah,
moving things, right?
yeah,
Which which which
it
kind of
really
yeah.
just all fell together. I was surprised. Like at the when I finished it and I read it over, I thought this actually just described exactly everything that I was thinking when I was, started writing this song. So there isn't really, once I got through it, there wasn't anything that I changed, because a lot of times I do that. I look back and I go, I don't like that word. I'm switching this, I'm switching that. But I didn't this time, because I think that like the way I described it was exactly how I heard it in my head. Yeah.
But there wasn't a bit of massaging in terms of getting the cadences right, like getting the melodies to fall right. Because often that's the case. You write a lyric, but then it doesn't quite fit with the melody, that sort of thing. Or did it? I mean, I guess if you're writing to a beat, everything's just kind of
It
fall
just
into
goes.
that,
It
right?
just go. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
going along. But yeah, there were spots the producer said, stop here and start again. Like he kind of found the sweet spots that kind of emphasized a little bit more of the lyrics.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. Because the one line that on the page it looks a little bit weird, but when you sing it, it sounds just fine. I'm taking the last line of your chorus. I'm taking whatever it takes me that leads me to you. Like there's, like if you were just to say that, like it would just be like I'm taking whatever it takes me. Like it just reads a
It
little
makes
awkward, right?
you have to read it a few times, right?
Yeah.
It just yeah, but it's true, because when I was writing it, it's exactly the way I felt about it. Like I was singing it and I was writing it. And when I was looking at it, I thought the same thing you did. I'm like, does this actually make sense? But it
Yeah.
did. It just fell into place.
Yeah, it may be it may be a little wordy, but the melody fits, and that really, when it comes down to it, that's king. The melody should come first, is my opinion, but the melody usually does come first. So but it does make sense. Like you know what you're singing about. Like it's not
Yeah.
obtuse in any way. It's just kind of you know
Yeah.
it's
And
just
I
kind of
agree with you on the
odd, right?
melody. I think the
Yeah,
melody is the thing that if it's got a good melody, then people will want to hear it again. Right?
yeah,
You could be singing about anything as long as that's got a good sound to it. I think that's the key.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because when you really think about the gravy train, like that's not
That doesn't
It's
even
not.
make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It's like it's a train. Is it a train or isn't it a train? No, it's like isn't it a gravy boat? I don't know. Anyway, but again, you can sort of park all that stuff because it's catchy and it's fun and it's
It's
cool, right?
fun.
And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't mind all that sort of stuff. But it's a very different experience, talking about it like this as opposed to just hearing it, in the background or
When
in
you
the
when you
foreground,
start
or
to
even
dissect
or,
it.
or even a live show. Like you're not handing out lyric sheets at the live show, right? We're sitting here staring at the lyric sheet, and, and we can make all those sorts of comments and those sort of assessments. But if you just sit back and like I was actually listening to this earlier today, and I was like, "Is that a 1-6-5-4?" And I jumped on my piano. I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And I was playing along, right? But then at that point, I'm not looking at the lyric sheet. I'm not thinking about the words. I was just vibing
It was the beat.
with the
Yeah.
thing, right? And
Yeah.
and chances are, if you're you got the band backing you up in a live show, that's most of what the audience is going to feel is this driving, high octane backbeat and the cool guitar riffs and the amazing melody and the soaring vocals and yeah.
It's great. It is a great song to play live.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah,
The band just hits this, especially the guitar solo. It always goes over well. We've played it a whole bunch of times now, and it is a good one. It's definitely gonna, it'll be on for all our shows all the way through this year and probably into next as the album gets released.
So is the band the same group you have in the studio?
So I have a band that goes on the road with me, and then I have the working musicians in the studio.
So they're two different groups.
Two different groups, but you wouldn't know it because they both sound exactly the same. But when I go out and record in Calgary at MCC Recording Studio. They bring in their musicians that they work with all the time. So, I had Gord Bamford's bass player, Lisa Dodd. She did all the harmony vocals on it. They bring in the CCMA award-winning bassist Justin Cutting, Ben Bradley, Brandon Waters. Like they are all top-notch musicians. And they come in and they hit these songs out like so fast because they are such pros at it, but also because they work together so much in studio.
Right.
So
right.
they know that they can feed off each other, right?
Yeah, that helps.
So yes, yeah. So that's why the songs when I do out there are so polished and professionally done because they bring in the best of the best. And then I bring the songs back to the band and I say, these are the ones I want to do live. And they do a great job with them.
And is that your directive to the live band to say this here's the record, this is the template?
Yep.
We can play with it a little bit, but this is basically what we want on stage, right?
Yep. They take the song and they listen to and they come into rehearsal and they know it. Like it's amazing how quickly these guys pick up these songs. And they sound exactly like the recording.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. It's amazing when you collaborate with those sorts of musicians that just know their stuff. Like it sounds like, yeah, they're both very well-oiled machines. They know what they're doing. Right?
Yeah.
It's a very cool thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of artists do that, is that they do have musicians that record and then other ones that go on the road with them. I think there's a lot of them that do that. And a lot of them switch the players depending on which location they're at too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
If they're out east, out west.
Yeah, I think it depends. Like for solo artists, certainly that can be the case. I mean, I'm always think to like someone like Peter Gabriel who had his dream team of guys, in the 90s or whatever. And then like he had Manu Katché on drums. I'm a drummer myself. And I'm like, Manu Katché, the guy's a genius, right? He's brilliant at the drums, right? And then he switched to this other guy. I don't even know the dude's name, but it's like, no, I don't like him as much as the other guy. Right? But he's always had David Rhodes with him on guitar. He's always had Tony Levin on bass. He switched out some of the other players and backup singers and things like that and whatever, but he's always been that. But I mean, certainly if you're a band, and your sound is tied to, you know, the riffs that you guys came up with and that sort of thing, then you tend to tour as a group, and you remain
Yeah,
that group.
they've been with me since day one, so we are going into our third year together.
Right on. Okay.
And
The live band.
yep, original guys from day one. They have stayed with me through the tour, Can't Stop Me Now tour, which went on for 1 year, and it was going so well, we extended it another year. So we got 2 years out of one album
Wow.
of touring. Yeah.
That's
So
kind of unheard of these days, isn't it?
I know it was just going so well, and we thought there's so many places we haven't been yet that people haven't heard our songs. They don't know me. So we just kept on going. So we finished at the end of November last year. So now we're starting into a new year.
Did you stay in Canada, or did you go south of the border?
We stayed in Canada. We were selected to open for Parmalee at Harbor Fest in New York. And it was quite exciting for an independent artist to be selected to open in New York for a big band like that. And our P2s, we applied and we waited, and they never came in. We tried everything, and they just did not get approved. And then they came approved 3 months later.
Oh,
And it was
jeez.
yeah, I know. It was a little bit late then.
And for us non-touring musicians, what's a P2? Is that the
Oh, a
application?
P2, so that allows you to go over to the US and play. We were getting paid. So this allows you to actually get paid for what your performance. So I'm sure artists can go over and perform for free, and that there's probably a whole other way to do that. It's probably much easier, but the P2, especially with everything that started to happen with the immigration and everything, it really stalled everything. So, but we will try again. We will try again. Yeah, I think when things settle down a little bit, I think then we'll give it a try, because that was our plan. Our plan was to go to the US.
Yeah, yeah. When the world's not on fire anymore, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Whenever that happens.
It's,
Yeah.
every day is a different day, Neil. Every time you turn
Yeah,
on the
for sure.
TV.
Oh goodness. Oh, and that's the other great thing about this song, and I think as far as I remember, your earlier song from 2 years ago, "They Can't Stop Me Now," incredibly positive. Like really, given all the the world's on fire all the time, this is a great uplifting, positive song. It's not a shred of shadow in here
Yeah.
whatsoever.
I like to write upbeat songs and it's kind of inspiring songs that people can kind of feel like empower them to especially Can't Stop Me Now. That's what the tour was. That's my album title. It just to give that people when they listen to it a sense of I can do it. I can go out and do what I dream I want to do. So I think this year especially you're going to hear some very interesting songs coming up. I've got one that was a remake of an old Pat Benatar song, which
Oh,
is really, really a great rock vibe. So this is something different that people are going to be.
you care to share which song that was?
I did all fired up. It's called.
Okay. Oh, great one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and so we're really excited about that one.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And how many tracks on this album then?
There's going to be 8 on this one.
How much was on your first album? How long was your first album?
I think we had 9, because I had one acoustic, an acoustic remake of one of the songs, because it was acoustic to begin with, and then we turned it into a full studio, and it sounded so nice as an acoustic that we put it on as a bonus track.
Oh, so you ever repeat the same song as it was on your first album as on your second album, but it's a pared
It's
down
just
acoustic. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
acoustic. It's stripped right down. So I really like doing that too. with some songs, so I may do that with the next album too. Is one of the songs that's really stripped down. Maybe it'll be this one. You gave me an idea, Neil.
You can turn it into a ballad.
That's right.
You can turn it into a ballad on stage. Like, no, everyone will still recognize. You have to try it and see. But yeah, it could be interesting. Yeah, it could be. I mean, because it could just be a really sweet love song. You know.
Yeah, it could. You're right. I'm really tempted to try that now.
Yeah. Except all the I don't want to say stereotypical, but all the country stuff. You got the old dirt road. You got the train. You got packing my bags. And
there's no doubt that that's country, right? Yeah, the wild horse. Yeah, you're right.
That's amazing. Yeah. So where is the tour already booked and everything then?
We haven't started the next phase with this new album coming out. We do have some shows coming up though that are leading up to the release of the new album, but they'll be like all over the place. There isn't a set tour in place. We'll be Niagara, we're gonna be Aurora, up in Gravenhurst. I'm going to be out east in Cavendish Music Festival. So just all over. And then back out to Calgary.
Oh, wow. Okay. Everything in Ontario and then skip over Manitoba.
Oh, that's on my list. That is on my list. I definitely want to make some stops. And hopefully this year we do.
We've had a few country artists on this podcast, and if I'm not mistaken, well, you're one of a couple that have come from Ontario, but the rest of them, Manitoba. All of them come from Manitoba. A lot of them came from Manitoba.
Oh, wow. They do have a big country scene there.
They have a huge, it seems like they have a huge country scene out there. And Alberta, obviously, of course.
Yes. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. But, amazing. Okay. And we'll definitely put links in the show post to your content there. Okay, I'm hearing the band. I think it's all the time we have on Song Talk Radio. Special thanks to Amanda Keeles. And so where can our listeners find out more about you and hear some more music and hear the tour information?
You can find where I'm going to be with my shows on amandakeeles.com. My Instagram is Amanda Keeles, and Amanda Keeles Music is my Facebook.
Awesome. You want to spell Keeles for us?
Keeles.
Right on. Okay. Be sure to follow Amanda on there. And we want to hear from you too. So please send your comments on Facebook or Instagram to @SongTalkRadio, or send us an email, feedback@songtalk.ca. And be sure to check out our YouTube channel for live performance videos and full episodes. And subscribe today to the Song Talk Radio podcast on your favorite podcast provider. And please support us at our Patreon page. You can visit songtalk.ca/support. Thank you to everyone who supported us so far. And please join us at our next monthly Song Talk meetup, whether you're in Toronto for our in-person meetups or anywhere in the world for our online meetups. It's free to join on Eventbrite and free to attend the meetup. Bring a song and a lyric sheet and get constructive feedback from other songwriters. Stop by songtalk.ca for the link. You can follow me at neilmodi.com. If Phil were here, he'd say follow him at philemery.ca. And Amanda, what's your favorite social media channel? Where do you post the most?
I post both Facebook and Instagram. If I post on one, I always post on the other. So you'll find what I'm doing, and
they're usually in sync anyway, because meta.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
Of course.
And you know what, Neil? I never had social media until like 2 years ago.
Really?
Really? So.
And now it's just professional. It's not even personal necessarily.
Yeah, that's right. So when you check out my socials, you'll tell.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. And be sure to stop by the website songtalk.ca to browse past shows and find out how you can be a guest. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and keep on writing. That's a cut.
All right.
That was awesome.
Was it okay?
Yeah, that was great. It was very
Yeah.
snappy, breezy, just like your song. So
Good. Oh, good. That's so funny because I had my little cheat Thanks
Oh
here, and
God, yeah.
I'm trying not to, because I thought in case I forget something, and I'm trying not to look at it when I'm talking to you.
Right, right.
Uh,
I noticed you did glance at it a couple of times.
I
I was like,
did
you must have
glance at
some
it because
notes there.
I'm like, oh my God, and I wrote it, but when you're on the spot, you're thinking, oh God, what was that? What was that line that you wanted to talk about?
Right, right, right. No, it's a good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. Yeah,
Well,
great to have
thank
you on the show
you.
again. Yeah, yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for
That
coming
was
on again. This
fun.
was
You
fun.
cracked
Yeah.
me up when you said it doesn't make sense because some of it doesn't. That was funny. That was
Yeah.
really funny.
But that's okay. That's me scrutinizing, it's like I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
You're right. Like when you read it, it's like that really doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there is that sort of mindset where, as an artist, that your duty as an artist is to pay attention to every little minor detail, right? So that if someone does start dissecting the lyrics, yeah, it makes perfect sense to them too, right? Now,
Yes.
where do you draw that line? And you're right. Sometimes you gotta give melody the trump card. Like, sorry.
I think because I don't read music, and that is it's like whatever comes out, whatever comes first, that's how it is. So I don't think I do it like most songwriters do, where they get their little buckets of this is your idea, this is your, you know what I mean? Like some writers do that. They have all their little kind of compartments of the song. Mine just kind of goes whoa and just all comes together at once.
And
Yeah.
you know what? And most songwriters do have little compartments. Will say the best songs they've written are the ones that just go boom and come together,
Yeah.
right? Because those
Yeah.
are often the best. You got little pieces of this and pieces of that. It never kind of coalesces into a unified thing, unless I mean that's what I've found is that most songs that I've written quickly are the ones that are better. The ones that take me
Yeah.
forever and I labor over and I keep going back and changing the lyrics 10,000 times. They just don't feel as
Yeah, I
as pure.
agree. I completely agree with you on that. Yeah.
I think that's the case with most people. They say that Leonard Cohen would take like 6 years to write a lyric to get every word just perfectly right.
Oh my God, 6 years.
So I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating, but he would labor over his lyrics, and he would not consider the song finished until he's found the perfect word for that
Exactly.
verse, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
he didn't have access to a rhyming dictionary, maybe.
Yeah. You know what? There's so many the tools you can use now, right?
Oh
It's
God,
which is kind of unfortunate because I can almost guarantee you that a lot of artists go AI to get ideas, which is really, really takes away from the actual talent of a songwriter. Coming up with the ideas and you know what I mean?
I guess. I mean, I recently had. I'm still technically. I'm working with this fellow that I met at our meetup of several. It might have been actually last year, and he's a little bit older. He's retired, and he used to be in a band back home in was it Ireland or England? I think it was England, but since then he's older now. He's kind of lost his voice. He's got arthritis in his hands, so he can't play the guitar anymore.
Oh,
And he's gone to Suno. But he's still a very passionate lyricist, right? So he writes these lyrics, he feeds them in a Suno, and boom, he's got himself a backup band, essentially,
wow.
right? And he gets his songs done in that
Yeah.
sense, right? But he was a little trepidatious about the whole AI thing. So, we were talking about it, and I said, well, I'd be happy to be your musician just for the purpose of recording something. And so I took his lyric and then tried to apply a song to it, and he was like, yeah, you came up with something completely different than Suno did, and something that I never would have thought of myself. So it's kind of cool to get
Yeah.
to get a person in there, but you know.
And like another thing too is that when I go out to Calgary and I go to MCC Studio, they they don't like everybody at home can do the music themselves these days. Like it's all electronic and everything. He actually layers the different musicians and like it's almost like old school now that I watch him do it. And he's so good at it. I forget what the program he uses. I forget what it's called now, that you can record your own
Probably using
stuff.
Pro Tools.
Yes, Pro Tools. Pro Tools. Yeah, but he just, when I watch him and the hours he spends just layering, and it seems, when I watch him I think, okay, this looks old school, but the result is fantastic. It probably costs more. It costs more studio time, of course, for him to do that, but
Well, it's those things where you can throw as much technology as you want or at it, and it's true. I mean, us home studio producers. I mean, I've never used Pro Tools in my life. I've used 3 different recording softwares over the last 20 some odd years, right? But at the end of the day, the most fun part about it is still the old school arrangement of instruments
yes.
and parts, and this melody comes in and that melody comes in. Oh, the bass did a cool thing here. Let's pull that up in the mix for that little fill, and then bring it back down, and whatever, and do all the parts work well together. That is completely independent of the software you're using or the plugins you're using or anything like that, right? It's just I'm in the indie folk rock band, and I've kind of fallen into de facto producer role because I think I'm the one that kind of thinks in those terms of all the different parts and how they fit together. And I get the guys in the home studio, and it's like, no, it's not the way we do it live. I want to, more specific for the recording. I want to nail down to exactly this sort of thing, right? And it probably takes me a heck of a lot longer. It takes us a heck of a lot longer than your guys out in Calgary because they're so seasoned at it that they just like bang it out and it's perfect. Whereas we have to sort of chip away at it until it's right.
Well, I'm sure that at one time it took Johnny a lot longer than it does now.
Yeah.
Now he's like, he's so quick. But at one time, he was trained by Shania Twain's Mutt Lange.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So
name, yeah.
he was trained under Mutt Lange's producer, the guy that he used, his engineer.
Right.
That's who he trained under. So,
okay, fair enough.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I like to think that some people have quote unquote producer brains and some people don't, and it's a thing you can learn just as like anything else, right? But
but you gotta have the ear too, right?
I think when we producer, it's connected to your ears. So, if without the ears, the brain's not getting any input.
It's not working.
I mean, I don't know. Work for Beethoven, so hey. Yes, but but that's certainly a thing where because even when we're rehearsing with the band, I'm always like, we have 2 guitarists, and I'm like, you guys are playing exactly the same thing. Why? At least if you're gonna play the same thing, get the electric an octave higher than the acoustic and see how that sounds. And the guys try it, and it's like, oh, hey, wow, doesn't that sound cool?
That's it. My 2 guitar players, they do that all the time.
Yeah.
If one's in one key, the other one's in the harmony key. Like all the time they do that, and it sounds so cool.
Yeah, it sounds rich and full and
yes,
good, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes the musicians just have to shut up and not play. And that's a thing too. And that's really hard for bands when they're on stage, just to stand there and do nothing. Right? It's like, but it's a thing. It's a valuable thing because, if you're going to be super loud, then the best thing is to be super quiet before then. That means like no one but the bass and the singer are doing something, right? And all of a sudden everyone comes in, boom. It's great.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true.
So yeah, a lot of things go into it. A lot of details for sure. But yeah, great stuff.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. I was looking forward to this. Yeah, I don't think anybody, I've had a lot of podcasts and interviews and stuff, but yours is the only one that really dove into the words and how it's structured.
Right. Yeah. And that's what we do here. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's neat. I was looking forward to it today. I thought, oh, this is going to be really interesting.
Yeah. That's cool. And you're not the only guests that have said that. A lot of our guests come on and say, this is the only place where we really nerd out about this stuff. Because like, if you're not a songwriter, most of this is going to go over your head.
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's not,
They'll listen to it and they'll hear the words, but yeah, they won't dissect it. Like,
yeah, and they won't understand
where did the
what it all
idea come
means.
from? And
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah.
So we like to think we're a pretty niche audience.
No, it's great. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. I appreciate you saying that. Okay, Amanda. Yeah, I'll give you give Carrie a heads up when the podcast drops, and she can send it to you, and you can share it on your socials and things.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
Great chatting with you, and
Okay,
take care.
I hope to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, see you, Neil.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.